Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwahn and welcome to the channel. We have some more reaction content for you, and today we are checking out Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And by I'm talking about everything. I've not looked at this game yet, which is comical because I've already ordered it. My copy of this game is already ordered, but I have not looked at anything regarding this game. But now, that said, I knew it was a game that I would want anyway. I played Xenoblade Chronicles 1, and that's it, because these games are long, but they're enjoyable. They're really good stories with fun characters in a unique setting with really decent gameplay, but they're long. At least if you do all of the side content, at least in the Xenoblade Chronicles, the first game, oh god, super long. You fool! Yeah, I know. How dare you pre-order a game that you knew you were going to purchase anyway? Yeah. That said, I could always cancel my pre-order if these all look like garbage. Now, Xenoblade is an interesting beast to me because I really adore Xenosaga. Can we please have an HD trilogy on I don't care what you put it on. You can put it on Switch, you can put it on my phone. I don't give a shit. Give me Xenosaga HD trilogy on a modern system and get that shit off of PlayStation 2. It's not available on anything besides PlayStation 2. I'm looking at whoever's responsible. Monolith Soft, Nintendo, Sony, I don't give a shit. Give me that garbage right now. I need it in my face. Anyway, so Monolith Soft made Xenosaga, the trilogy with KOS-MOS and Schwahn and anything like that. You're not available on anything but PlayStation 2. I know, it's because I'm old. And they moved forward, became Nintendo developers, and they made Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii, and since then have built quite the juggernaut of a JRPG franchise in Xenoblade Chronicles. Although we still don't have Xenoblade Chronicles X from the Wii U available on a modern system. We got everything else, because they did do a definitive edition of the first game, which is what I've played. And I do own both Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the Golden Torna something, I don't remember its full name, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I just haven't gotten to them yet. And so, but we now have Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the next big entry in the series and the franchise, and it's coming soon. And it's going to be here in a month. It's going to be here in July, which was also a surprise because on its initial announcement, I believe it was supposed to come out in September, and they moved the release date up. When have you ever heard of that happening? Literally ever. Every single game gets delayed, right? It's like, oh, we had to delay it a month. We had to delay it a year. And they're like, no. We can release this a couple months early, actually. We're basically done. It's good. It's good to go. You can ship it out sooner. It's like, are you sure? Okay. I think they also moved it away from September for quarter purposes because September is also when Splatoon 3 is releasing. So they're going to get a bunch of sales off of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 here in July. And if that is a break in sales quarters between where Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and Splatoon 3 are going to be, that looks good for, shareholders and sales and stuff like that. But yeah, Now, that said, as I mentioned, I have not looked at anything about this, but they've done good in the past. I have not even looked at the initial announcement trailer back from February. So we got the announcement trailer, the release date trailer, and the direct. So before I ramble on any longer, because this is already going to be really long, let's go.
Fighting in order to live, and living to fight. That's the way of our world. Aionios. Tell me, what would possess you to side with them?
We're fighting because there are enemies to kill.
She just bitch smacked him.
I knew it. I saw this coming.
You're not enemies now.
Fine for you, isn't it? All that time you've got.
You could try to move forward together.
How can our lives be so snuffing little to you?
They're not your friends anymore. They're his fuel.
So one of the things that's really amazing about Monolith Soft, they're able to make things look insanely good on the Switch. I was playing through Xenoblade Chronicles 1 on the Switch, and I'm like, how did you do this?
Whatever life is lost, I won't let you.
So, hang on, pause. Am I just not getting pixels? Or is it... Might just be a low resolution. Oh no, I think I got some more pixels.
It has to go!
Ouroboros abhor this world. They must be erased without a trace.
So it's interesting. It looks like we got a dynamic of like two childhood friends that ended up on opposite sides of a war. A bit cliche, but it also, like, it's cliche because it works. So instead of Ocarina of Time, it's Flute of Machines? I mean, maybe. Depends on it. Like, admittedly, I haven't played, like I said, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And Xenoblade Chronicles 1 ends in such a way that I didn't even know how the sequel was going to work, because the ending is it feels very finite. Like, there's obviously a continuation of the characters that could happen, but without their explanation, I don't know how the sequel works, because the first game was so heavily focused on the conflict between two factions, the Bionis and the Mechonis. Bionic creatures versus mechanical creatures. And I know that that's partially continued forward, and it looks like it's still going here, and that's pretty nice. This looks pretty. War does a lot of things. Can we talk about the costume design, since some of that is not combat clothing? Well, I mean, you know, it's interesting because I feel like too often especially in JRPGs, there is such a strange focus on hyper complicated clothing, which is not necessary. And even in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, actually, outside of particularly combat-focused characters, people were largely adventuring in their regular clothes. Of course, Xenoblade Chronicles 1, at least, there was a lot of costume options, and so you could give people armor, or you could put them back in normal clothes, or whatever you wanted. And that carried forward throughout the entire game, was in cutscenes. You see this a lot also in, like, Tales series, but what's nice also is that it wasn't microtransaction. It just was an option available to you.
There you are!
Aye.
You monsters!
Cut it out! We're your friends here! Did they order you to destroy Ouroboros too?
The world, our enemy.
Even though we're being chased.
Wonder what's up with the red eyes.
There's a reason we met. There has to be.
Also, we're seeing more of the mixed breed characters, the cross-species characters, because there was a species in the original game where they had these head wings, but they were huge. They went down to their feet. And one of the characters on your party is actually a half between a human, I forget what the Hom, that's the word they use for humans, is the Homs. That just means human. And the winghead people whose name has escaped me. There is a lot going on with this UI. Good Lord. Game has Catgirl, so it's automatically better. I mean, it's hard to argue with that. You got Catgirl, you got Angel Girl. So here's something interesting, too. There's a large party there. The first game, you had 3. You had 3 total members in your party. There's 6 here. That's a lot.
I got something for you. What is that thing?
You've got a real death wish.
Ah, that was only mildly concerning looking.
Now, kids, you share a common destiny.
I felt her thoughts. There were so many. And then they
Cool
were
shot.
a part of me. How are you inside me? Hold on.
Are we?
You can't just say that. You can't just say that. Holy shit, is that an Evangelion?
Hold on.
Are we?
It kind of looks like one. It really looks like one.
Let's get stuck in.
Yeah, will do.
So you can take that form via a strong desire or emotion.
Interesting. You can combine your characters to form, like,
All orders are rescinded. Eliminate Ouroboros at all costs.
stronger
That's
combatants.
revenge. It's payback for Nimue dying with her wish unfulfilled.
It's a wild ride, this passage of fate. We got ourselves a nice little awakening.
Why is my name on here?
My way demands we fight. Come then.
You can combine characters in Fire Emblem, which is different. That's a very different way.
Help with fighting!
I've never used this kind of blade before, but all the techniques I can use with it are flashing before my eyes.
Oh, there's a lot. There's so much going on, though.
The only thing that can change all this.
Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was fun, though. It was super fun.
You kids, and you alone.
Not that I have all that much time to spare, but soon.
Finding a path that lets us all live. I will make that my mission.
So is that fat penguin owl creature? Oh, God, I can't remember what their race name is either. No, but kind of. They can fly with their earwing things, and they're adorable and really funny. Like, they're super funny. Although, hang on, I have to turn this up just a little bit for myself, because it's like a little quiet for me. This one. Let me put it up to, like, that, so that I can actually hear. Okay. Now I can actually hear. Okay. So this was also them announcing the change of the date to July 29th, which is where it has sat. Okay, so this is the direct. So I don't know how this is going to be, like, presented. I don't know how much talking is in this, but we'll find out. It's also interesting to me because Xenosaga had a mechanic, not where you combined characters, but to where characters could temporarily, like, jump into a mech.
When you left here, but you've nothing to show for it, D.
Oh, spare me, P.
We should have sallied forth in the first place.
Surely the turn is mine.
Did he say we should have sullied forth in the first place? Is that seriously what he said? Hang on. Is there captions on this?
You were all talk when you left here, but you've nothing to show for it, D.
Oh, spare me, P.
We should have sallied forth in the first place.
He said sell it forth. I think he said sullied forth.
Surely the turn is mine.
I believe it's my turn next.
Honestly, you make more noise than the rabble at a feast. Even if you did stop its raging flow, it will soon burst through. Well then, let us see how far the flow brings them this time.
Hello?
We each have a lifespan of 10 years. We call them terms. Life begins with our first term and ends at the close of our 10th.
Victory!
And over the course of those 10 years, we fight continually.
What kind of pep talk is that? Of course we're gonna survive. I've thought about this a lot. About what I can achieve. What I'll leave behind.
Then I think of tomorrow and the tremors are back.
I don't know if I can make it louder. Hold on.
Will I see the same faces when I wake? Will I even be around to see them?
The thing that confused me was that, I don't know if it was too quiet for you. He said that he was talking about terms and, like, their lifespans. Here, I'll start it back over there, which is just like a
We
weird...
each have a lifespan of 10 years. We call them terms. Life begins with our first term and ends at the close of our 10th.
Victory!
And over the
What does that mean? A lifespan of 10 years and it begins at the beginning of your first and then ends at the end of your 10th? But what happens at the end of the first 10 years? Like, like, is this literal or like metaphorical? And like, your life from 1 to 10 years old is very different from your life of 11 to 20, which is very different from your life of 21 to 30. Or do you literally die? Like, these are very important differences.
In the course of those 10 years, we fight continually.
You telling me that boy is 2?
What kind of pep talk is that? Of course we're gonna survive. I've thought about this a lot. About what I can achieve. What I'll leave behind.
Then I think of tomorrow and the tremors are back. Will I see the same faces when I wake? Will I even be around to see them?
Get ready!
Now, the enemy is before you. Chase them to the ends of the world.
Unchecked, Ouroboros will lead this world to ruin. You must be erased.
These soldiers will nourish me, and we can always grow plenty more.
Stop toying!
Can
with
grow
everyone's
more?
lives!
That is very anime.
You gave us a choice.
I'm okay with this.
The choice not to fight. And you made it true.
That mark there. Late 10th term, eh? 3 months left. That about right?
3 more months. And then I'll be gone from this world.
How many of you are getting made an example of and hopes rest this time?
Definitely got some clone things going
We
on.
have good reason to meet with them. To bring peace. And to set the world to rights.
But take a look around. Think about how many lives it's cost. Annihilator is started moving!
This is bad, Noah.
Now I want to live. To live and learn.
So don't give up yet. This'll buy you some extra time. Use it.
Stop this! I don't want any of your time!
If the world holds our lives back, I will end it!
These are our lives here! They're not some toys you can just play with!
It's like some Logan's Run shit. That's hardcore. Logan's Run or In Time and stuff, it's really
Many have
heavy
tried.
because of the, like,
But
known
none have ever managed to
expiration of your
escape its
life.
flow. What is...
And, okay, and that would make sense why the bad guys...
But none have ever managed to escape its flow.
Notice he has, like, an infinity symbol on his eyeball. You can absolutely have a Japanese voice in Steve.
What is it they need to stay alive? Water? Food? Certainly.
Ouroboros,
What
it keeps
need
eating
life?
itself. The bad guys are probably, like, eating lives to keep themselves alive past their expiration date.
Taking each other's lives. With the taken flames becoming your own in turn.
This is the world of Aionios. The nations of KOS and Agnes and their grisly conflict stand.
I'm really glad that they said the name Kevis, because I would have been calling that Kieves for 100 hours.
And in contrast to its natural splendor. All this killing for the sake of filling one's own flame clock.
Calling it a
From the
flame
moment
clock
of
is...
birth, fighting is all the people of Aionios learn. Their fate leads to everyone's destruction. Their lifespans are a mere 10 years. Surviving on the battlefield, fulfilling that 10-year lifespan of service, and receiving a homecoming ceremony in front of their queen is the highest honor. However, many never receive this honor as they fall in battle. Their souls evaporating into the beyond as the melody of the Offseers plays.
Got some Yuna from Final Fantasy X vibes going on there.
In today's presentation, we'll introduce the world of the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 game. and follow the main character's adventures.
Countless comrades have lost their lives thanks to this filth.
What do you think it's like for us?
Oh god, he's got a shield turret that's sick.
You steal everything from us.
6 soldiers, 3 from KOS and 3 from Agnes, were commissioned to take part in a special mission. Both parties, filled with mutual hatred, draw their weapons at first, but when they encounter a mysterious figure, they shelve their distrust and resolve to work together.
Because now, kids, you share a common destiny. They'll hunt you constantly, relentlessly, without rest. There's one place that might give you a chance. Sword March. The land pierced by a great sword. Our city.
Defeat the real enemy and restore the world to order.
Waifu best girl fights are gonna be massive here.
These 6 characters.
This is what we're meant to do. To send on the voices of the departed is an officer's purpose.
Ready, he says. From the moment I chose this muddy path, I've been more than ready.
The spark you on about? I'm not gonna let you take the...
Did he say the spark are you on about? You know, like, I understand that this game is probably rated like T, you know, but it always feels really weird to me when stories create their own, like, swear words, essentially. You didn't want to say the hell are you on about, the fuck are you on about, what is that crap? Nope, the spark are you on about.
Then ready.
The spark you on about? I'm not gonna let you take the fall alone.
I've thought about this a lot. About what I can achieve. What I'll leave behind.
If anything, we should be questioning all that we've thought to be true. Differences
Aion looks
are all a
fucking
matter of
sick.
perspective.
The truth is, she's terrified. She needs someone to tell her that everything will be all right.
Now fugitives of both KOS and Agnes, these
Officer, yeah, that was their
hopeful's
role.
journey to learn the truths of their world.
I agree, Eve. I don't think it's the main character, Noah, at all.
To the colonies,
It's completely Lons or Tyon. Those are your only options on Husbando. Sorry, Noah.
But if the consuls giving the orders are the same, it means...
But these guys are mega suspicious?
I suspect they may be more deeply involved than we thought. With the reason why we fight, with deciding our fate.
Our fate.
A boundless world.
So hot.
Keep it together now, Mimi. Hey, look! There!
Called her
look.
Mimi.
It's water! There's an oasis!
Water. Water.
Let's just hope it's not a mirage.
Whew. This is...
Aionios is host to
Initially, I was gonna be like, is this thing rendered properly? But I can tell by the clean text in the corner that it is. But there was some countable pixels right here. I wish the Nintendo
Aionios
Switch
is
was a
host
better
to
console.
various landscapes,
I wish it was a better
all
console
filled with
so
surreal
bad.
geography to explore and diverse wildlife to encounter. Like the lands they inhabit, the wild creatures here range from docile to dangerous. Some creatures make no secret of their ferocious tendencies,
Formidable opponent.
so keep caution in mind. You'll also encounter the soldiers of Kevus and Agnes, who continue to fight throughout the land. Colonies serve as the base camp for both nations. At the heart of each colony is a Ferronis. These are mobile bases and devastating weapons of war.
Ferronis?
Seek out these colonies to shop. Dine.
Whew, all finished.
Get to know residents, and more.
It's back!
Get a glimpse of the lives of Noah and his friends
Bonfire
at these
to
rest
Soulstice
spots,
games.
found in colonies and throughout the world. Use collected materials to cook. Craft gems to strengthen your abilities.
Looks good to me. I think we'll find this useful.
And discuss information you hear about from residents to take on new quests.
Gems? Don't worry, it's not Diablo Immortal. We'll be okay. You don't got to pay money for the gems. Well, you might have to spend, like, crafting gold that you just farm
Explore
enemies
every
for.
corner of these fields as you seek out new encounters.
See,
Breathtaking.
all right. That's what I'm talking about, okay? Like, obviously this trailer has been going in a lot of directions in terms of, like, level of quality. And it's mostly because the Nintendo Switch is a refurbished Amazon Fire tablet. But I will say I was really, really impressed with the things that Monolith Soft has been able to do with on the Nintendo Switch in Xenoblade. Because every single one of their games looks impressive. It's super impressive. And even Xenoblade Chronicles 1 looked like this. In some places, it looked even better. And what it was even more crazy to me was that most of what you see here on the screen, you can go there, right? Like, it's got that, like, whatever you want to call it, that open world, Breath of the Wild, whatever effect, the Elden Ring, I want to go discover that, whatever you want to call it. The draw for discovery. And that exists here, and it's on a console that can't run like a simple action RPG over 20 frames per second. So like, it's really just surprising to me in a general sense that that I don't know what they do that allows them to manage this in the way that they do, because it's so bewildering to me that it's even possible. All right, anyway.
Scenery. Valuable items, and ferocious monsters. Enjoy the world and fulfill your wanderlust at your own pace.
Locations. You see that? You see how he just leapt off of that thing?
Enjoy the world and fulfill your
wanderlust. That's what I was talking about. Like that spot that he was at a moment ago. So much of this world is explorable, and as long as he falls in the water here, he'll be fine. So you had this like beautiful vista up here that he was looking at, and then he's like, I'm gonna go there. It's super impressive.
The locations you visit are saved as landmarks that you can quickly select and travel to, which makes traversing this giant world more manageable.
That's how it worked in the first one. I assume that's how it also worked in the second one.
Feature, you can set a course for your next destination without fear of losing your way. There are plenty of other features that will help you in your adventure, such as the ability to change the time of day to encounter monsters that only appear at specific times.
They had to end that scene since they messed up the jump. He's dead. Don't question it. It's fine. Seriously, for a Switch game, Xenoblade's insane. Okay, I'm really curious about this. They got so many party members.
Draw his attention for me.
Uni! Cover fire! Leave it to me!
Tion! Zena! We need you too! Understood.
Just say when, guys.
Thanks, everyone. I'll count down from 3. Understood.
Her hair is on fire? I just realized that. Not only that's not just like cool hair coloring. Her ponytail is on fire. Hello?
Thanks, everyone.
I'll count down from 3. 3, 2, 1. Let's go!
Draw your weapon when encountering an enemy to seamlessly enter battle.
Something for ya.
Make your approach to attack automatically.
They are
harness.
No, this is in no way a bad thing, but they are heavily pitching this to people that have never played Xenoblade before, which is perfectly fine, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But everything that they've shown off so far is everything that's been in the series since Xenoblade 1. And so, like, it's perfectly fine. This was a Nintendo Direct. That was the purpose, as an advertisement. But it is just interesting to me how heavily they're trying to explain it so that just, like, anyone might be hooked by this. Because especially when you have, like, a 3 on there, it's even harder to get people to maybe be interested in clicking on it or purchasing it in the first place. Because people will always think, do I need to play the first 2 games? You know,
powerful abilities called arts to strive for victory.
Love it.
Arts have a variety of effects. Some can throw opponents off.
Oh, the frames. Oh, no. Oh God. Please, Nintendo.
Balance. Inflict more damage based on where you attack from. Or heal allies, to name a few.
Ion's a healer? Sick.
Each art is assigned to a button, making them simple and easy to execute.
That's different. You had to scroll through an ability wheel before.
Each character takes on a specific role during battle. Attackers excel at damaging enemies. Defenders block enemy attacks and draw their aggro. And healers can restore HP to keep you in fighting shape. Each character playing their role effectively is a key point to battling. You can freely swap the character you control at any time.
I love that. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to hear.
String together arts to activate a combo and gain an advantage. Get the enemy off balance. Knock them to the ground. Launch them into the air, then smash them down. Stringing together...
What just happened?
Launch them into the air, then smash them down.
He's spinning so fast he's glitched out the game.
Is quite satisfying. You can link multiple arts with stunning chain attacks to devastate enemies. Deal heaps of damage at once and let nothing stand in your way.
This isn't the end!
Classes galore. Oh no.
What is it?
An icon just popped up over your head.
Ludovision!
Seems to be the only one not logged.
Huh? He's lit up like a sparking light bulb.
I've never used this kind of blade before, but all the techniques I can use with it are flashing before my eyes.
Each character in your party has a class that influences how they battle.
Don't know how this is even working, but cool.
Each class has its own attributes.
Freaking pervert.
Sword fighter. Lead the fight with this well-balanced attacker class.
Oh God.
Zephyr. Evade attacks and unleash powerful counters. Medic Gunner. Restore allies' HP and strengthen their abilities from a position of safety.
Stormy Sky. Efficient healing.
Tactician. Disrupt enemies and support allies using paper talismans called Mondo. Heavy Guard. Wield massive weapons to defend allies and draw enemy aggro. Ogre. Crush enemy defenses with massive power. Your class can also be changed to match that of your allies. Spend time learning multiple classes for a well-rounded team. Experience earned on the battlefield increases your class rank and lets you learn Master Arts, a set of beneficial arts that can be added to a different class.
Wide slash!
With Master Arts, even your defender can take a moment to heal their allies. The more arts and combat strategies you wield, the easier it'll be to blaze through battles.
So what I'm hearing is grind a lot, not that that's a bad thing. Well, it depends on the structure of the game, and we still have 7 minutes left of this direct. But in the first game, you didn't actually need to grind very much because there was so much side content. I am not even joking a little bit. There was so much side content. And I don't mean like after you get to the end of the game, because after you get to the end of the game, there was even more. There was so much at every step. The game took me forever to complete just because there was so much to do and I was trying to mark off every box. But by the end of the game, when the rest of the like post-game end game was available, I was already at a level where I could start thinking of challenging super bosses because of, and it wasn't because I was grinding. I was just marking quests off and doing side quests and doing side content and marking off these collectibles and stuff as I went. And so if they've set up a similar structure here, one, it means it's a really big game. It'll take a while, but it also means that you probably shouldn't need to grind very much. This also answers a question that I had because you mentioned the potato pie, the little potato owl creatures. That my brain thinks of pineapples, and man, I cannot remember their name. But anyway, you actually have one of those in the first game. His name is Ricky, and all of the characters in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, they don't have the ability to change classes. But here, everyone is a relatively same-size humanoid, and it's so that they can have a similar skeleton, so the animations across the different weapons can be used by the different characters. It's unfortunate because it means we don't have any little pineapple people, but I get it.
Stay on guard for now.
Also, by combining compatible arts, you can unleash fusion art attacks that combine the effects of 2 arts into one.
Stormy shot. Round speed.
Neat. Very cool.
Live fiercely, die spectacularly.
Mommy?
That's how I want the battlefield of my life to be.
It's just that, as a mechanic, you can't start getting moody just because something's broken.
The UI is a lot.
Real Nopon potential.
That's right. Maybe it's impossible for one Nopon.
But
Nopons, that's their name.
I just wish I wasn't such a weakling. I can't run away from my responsibility.
Doing the same as everyone around you, it's always the same outcome. Following the playbook to the letter is hardly a strategy.
Whoever goes up against me, they're getting crushed.
Brave residents of Aionios called heroes can lend their arms and aptitude to your team as a 7th party member.
Okay, so these are kind of like blades.
Only one hero at a time can assist on the battlefield, but you can swap them out as you see fit. Heroes also bring their own classes to your team. Guardian Commander. Turn the tables with boosted abilities when things look dire.
So Xenoblade Chronicles 2 had a blade system where, so for instance, if you've seen Pyrrha and Mithra, the 2 like mech fighter characters from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, they were recently added to Smash. It's the brown-haired girl in the red mech suit and then the blonde-haired girl in the white mech suit. Those are blades that are kind of like summoned weapons that are attached to the characters. And that there are more blades than Pyrrha and Mithra in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. In fact, going back to talk about Xenosaga, KOS-MOS is one of the rarest and strongest blades that you can get in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. But a lot of the blades are actually gotten through a I'm going to call it a loot box mechanic, but it's not a loot box in terms of like it's a microtransaction. You can't buy them. So it is a RNG system of loot drop that comes out of blade boxes, but you can't like, just pay to win. It is kind of like a Gacha Eve or like a loot box and stuff. Like it's that similar system. It's just not paid. You just have to grind for the boxes in the game for the chance to get the rarer and stronger blades. And KOS-MOS has like a 0.2% chance or something to pop out of one of the little loot boxes that are in the game. But again, they're not exploiting you for money with that. They're just exploiting your own time to make you keep playing in the game. Which, I mean, it's annoying if you want a particular character, but, It is nice at least that they're not just like, yes, you can buy for 3,500 Dirija coins, you can buy 10 blade boxes that can have a chance for you to get the character you want. Yeah, so but these are going to be very similar to that.
In Cursor, unleash more critical hits for higher attack power. War Medic. Heal party members and bolster them with various buffs.
They haven't mentioned anything about how these are gotten yet, though.
These are only a handful of classes that heroes bring.
There's 14 there. There could be more.
Your party members can take on any of the hero classes as they become your allies.
Crazy.
Recruit more heroes for a growing combination of classes and arts in your party. Choose to don a class's look, or keep your current outfit. Find your fashion and fight for the future.
This game has a lot of depth to it. Like, the combat system's really, really deep, which is not bad at all. This is gonna be the combination thing.
This is no normal creature. It's something else.
You've got a real death wish.
Get out the way. You're just slowing me down. The nerve on this guy.
One down. Good start.
It's not over yet.
I felt her thoughts.
I just got chills. Anyway.
Or maybe her memories. There were so many. And then they were a part of me.
By joining together in battle through interlinking, two characters in your party can fuse into a fiercely powerful form known as an Ouroboros. Here are the character pairs that can interlink. Transform into this fearsome fusion by interlinking during combat. Clear out the battlefield by using Mighty Ouroboros arts before.
I still can't get over watching those enemies twirl in the air. That looks so stupid. Is there an in-game universe reason for the wildly different accents? There was in the first game. For context, in the first game, you exist on a literal giant titan. The world is a giant creature that doesn't move, but it's a giant creature that like bigger than a mountain. And the different races or the different species have different accents. So a lot of the Homs, the humans, all sounded the same. The people with wings on their head, they sounded like the other people with wings on their head. The Nopons, the little pineapple creatures, they all sounded the same, again, with their own accent. And they lived pretty far away from one another. So think Greek Titan. Yeah, that's a good size measurement. So like the winged people, they lived at the top and they had like the kind of like British sounding accents. The Nopons, the little pineapple people, they lived in the middle and they had kind of the like Aussie accents. And the Homs lived on the lower half of the creature and they had American accents, for lack of like a better description. So I don't know how it works in the rest of the games, but that's how it worked in the first game. And then the other, like, everyone had different accents just based on essentially their species, because while the winged people and the Homs were able to procreate with one another. They are technically different species. And then there was also species that existed in other realms that also had different accents too. So it's a species thing. It really is what it is. It just more differentiates where they come from.
War time is up and the interlink deactivates.
Those guys are so selfish. Selfish.
Why are you on fire?
You know what I mean. Every time we interlink, they're the ones taking the lead. So you'd prefer to take the reins? I just want to do more. Like, pull my weight. You know? Lance, come with me! I'm all set!
Despite being a single body, the Ouroboros is controlled by only one of the two characters. Swap between them to modify the form and arts of the Ouroboros to fit your approach.
It keeps going!
Earn points in battle to make the already powerful Ouroboros even stronger.
More to add to the playbook?
I'll make it count!
Ouroboros can also take part in chain attacks with the rest of the party.
Now to finish your turn! Steady there! Keep your breathing!
Strike through! Upon this sword!
I so badly wish the Switch was stronger. This would look so good if it was on something stronger.
We were sworn enemies once.
I love the Switch as a console, but its power limitations make me so sad.
Until now, I was afraid to take that first step. But now...
PC release
I can
when?
do it.
Not like we can afford to go just yet.
Realistically, with emulation, immediately. Like, Metroid Dread came out, and the day it came out, people had it running at 4K 60 on Switch, on PC, so...
So now, I ain't afraid.
Yeah, I'll keep going. While my flame still flickers to the bitter end.
But I'm gonna change. Both me and this world.
We'll build it for ourselves. A world with the freedom to choose.
You still got a whole minute on this bitch on the end here. Oh. Okay.
Broaden the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 with a paid expansion pass.
Wow. Okay, so 1, expansion pass. 2, I'm really surprised how confident they are in their work in this. Like, we mentioned at the beginning of this video that it was like, wow, okay, you already, you not only did you move up the release date, but now you're showing us the DLC, and you already have release dates for the DLC. Well, I guess, okay, releasing by a date, so they could even be out sooner if they wanted. Interesting. Okay. So what do we got? Helpful items, other color variants. Okay. Challenge battle, new hero character and quests, new outfits. Challenge battle, new hero character and quests, new outfits. Oh, and another one. Brand new story scenario. A ton of DLC are started before development. Right, yeah. No, it is very normal.
You can get the additional
I'm just surprised that they have
here.
Dates already. Is more what it is.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is compatible with amiibo figures. Tap any amiibo to acquire helpful in-game items for your adventure. Tap the Shulk amiibo to change a character's sword to appear as the Monado when using Noah's sword fighter class.
Cool.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 launches July 29th.
Yeah, that was great. That was a fantastic direct. But and just as a note, I'm just going to talk in a real general sense. That was a great direct, especially for something focusing on a single game. They didn't talk a ton. They let the game talk a lot. Like, they would give you a very small snippet of information and then let the game do the rest, which is great because we've seen some of these where there are people just talking all the time. And I'm just like, would you shut up? Like, you're talking about what's on screen? Just let what's on screen tell me what's on screen. Give me the gist of it, of, like, what's going on, and then just let us move forward with it. They did a fantastic job with this Direct. Even compared to normal Nintendo Directs, where, well, of course, normal Nintendo Directs are just, like, sizzle reel trailer showcases. But in terms of something that's focusing very much on a single title, that was a really good Direct. I enjoyed that a lot. Not even just talking about the content or the game itself or anything like that. Specifically, just how you presented this Direct, incredible. I loved it. Very good job. Very good work. Would watch again. Or would watch more that are done like this. Like, that was a really well done Direct. Now, in terms of what we saw, so I'll start with the bad. Okay? I'll start with the bad. There are two things that I see as genuinely bad. And they both involve visual things. One, Xenoblade Chronicles 1 ran really, really well on the Nintendo Switch. That said, it was a Nintendo Wii game that was remade for the Switch. I think they're technically calling it a remaster, but I call, like, a few levels of bullshit because, goddamn, it looks way better than the Wii version. So, I haven't tried Xenoblade Chronicles 2 yet, just haven't gotten to it. It's on my list, and I don't think I'll get to it in the next month, but who knows? Maybe I'll try and crank it out. We'll see what happens. But that game looked rough. Like, obviously it could be the compression or whatever. I don't think it is. I think the game is just going to not look as good even as compared to Xenoblade Chronicles 1. And that's unfortunate. And I feel like it's because, like, this game feels even bigger than Xenoblade Chronicles 1. And there's so much in here. It looks like it's got a bigger world, more characters, more people, lots more action going on. The combat is much more active than Xenoblade Chronicles 1. And it's clear that Monolith Soft have probably found the absolute upper threshold of what is possible on the base Nintendo Switch console. I say base because we had, what was it, like 28 different dev teams be like, oh yeah, we got a 4K Switch dev kit, and then Nintendo was like, no, the fuck you don't. They're like, oh, no, we don't have 4K Switch dev kits. We definitely don't. Even though, well, it was like 27. So there is some sort of higher-end Nintendo console that is on the horizon. Whether it's a Switch 2 or something else, whatever it is, please just make it backwards compatible. I beg of you, Nintendo. I don't give a shit. If it can run this at 1080p, 60 frames per second, stable, you got my money. If it can operate any of the Warriors games, Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors, if it can run frickin' Astral Chain at a 1080p frame rate with 60 frames per second, I will give you money. I did not buy the OLED version because it was not an upgrade in terms of performance. If you give me a performance upgrade, I will give you money. Anyway, please make it backwards compatible. Please. Please. The cartridges are awesome. We love the cartridges. Anyway, so this game definitely looks like it's found the absolute limit of what the Switch can do, which makes me sad because there was frame issues, there was animations that looked kind of jank, there was just general fidelity issues, characters looked blocky, choppy, aliasing was massive, and it makes me sad because I can tell that there's so much quality in this game that is being held back by the platform that it's on. Xenoblade 2 was hastily changed to work on Switch. I heard it was great, though, but I don't know what its actual performance looks like. So, yeah. I'm still waiting for Switch. Only need to upgrade hardware. We own 3 fucking Nintendo Switches, and I would happily buy 2 or 3 more if they didn't run like garbage. Especially when I have a Steam Deck now, and the Steam Deck is so insanely impressive for a base price of $400. Like, oh my god. I look at what the Steam Deck can do in terms of being able to play Final Fantasy VII Remake at 60 frames per second, and then I look at the Switch next to it, and I'm like, you are a disappointment. Mind you, Steam Deck came out in 2022, and the Switch came out in 2017. 5 years difference. A lot happens in 5 years, so it's time for a new Switch, guys. It's time for a new Switch. Was it 2017 or was it 2016 for the Switch? It was a while ago. Anyway, the other thing is, and we talked about it a little bit here and there, that UI is a lot. And, like, it's a lot. Like, you're having 6 or 7 characters with their level and health on the screen, 2 different sets of arts that can be combined, the enemy information, and then some more. Plus the numbers that you see, like this person's defending, this person is the current target because that's who the enemy is approaching. This is the healer, and you got health numbers and damage numbers and stuff going off all over the place. It's a lot. There is a lot on the screen, and it's unfortunate because, oh God, you got people's faces coming in for their special moves. Like, I'm sure the game will be fun. Xenoblade was really fun, which is why I managed to throw 100 hours into it and still didn't do everything. 100 hours into it, and I'll probably happily dump a whole bunch of time into these as well. But pain when it comes to looking at this. Like, it makes me feel like a fucking MMO with just the sheer amount of crap on the screen. I wonder if you will be able to shrink or hide or condense some stuff. Because, like, as much as, like, this is cool, this stuff on the left of, like, each person, I wouldn't mind if you could take away their portrait, squish them into the corner, and just have it name and HP with the bar underneath. Like, replace the level with their name, hide their portrait, squish them into a single bar, and squish them over to the side. Turn this big, giant dial here smaller and shrink it in a corner and move this to, like, a baseline where, like, it's a flat line on the bottom just to give me some more visual space of what's happening on screen. So, it's a minor nitpick, but in terms of bad, those are the only 2 things I have. URI doesn't bother me too much, but you're used to MMO. I am too. I've played a lot of MMOs, and honestly, I'm sure after playing this for an hour that I won't notice the UI anymore, but it's just a lot that clutters up the screen, and especially when, like, Xenoblade games are pretty, and I would like there to be less in the way of the pretty game, especially because, at least compared to Xenoblade Chronicles 1, there's a lot more happening on the screen. We just talked about how there's, like, bigger, flashier animations, enemies are being thrown around, tossed up in the air, spun, crash, spell effects. You got a dude who throws 100 freaking paper talismans all over the place. That stuff's all cool, and I would like to be able to see it without it being covered up by icons, numbers, and bars. And, you know, maybe there will be customization options inside it somewhere for you to be able to change that stuff. I don't know, but on the fundamental level, that's just an initial complaint. So, I'm sure it won't be a big deal playing it. The graphical problems probably will be in terms of, like, lower resolution, bad aliasing, like, drops in frame rates. Those will be noticeable every time they pop up, because you'll be like, oh yeah, we're running good, and then the game will go, and you're like, oh God, Switch, come on, man, keep it together. And it's like, I can't, I wasn't built for this, man. I was built for Bejeweled and nothing else. And you're like, I know, I'm sorry, you're doing great though. Those are the only 2 negatives I have, though, is the visuals and the UI. Everything else about this, like, this looks great. Like, I love everything about this. I love the setup, the story. Also, another note here, we just watched 30 minutes of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 stuff, and the overarching story, no idea, right? Like, they did a great job of telling you the setup and the premise without actually spoiling anything. At least from my perspective, right? I do know one spoiler, and I won't share it here for the sake of people that want to avoid it, and it does raise a question, and it's involving a character from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 being visible at one point in one of these trailers, but I won't say any more than that. But yeah, really good job on, like, really presenting a lot of hefty, chewable information without actually feeling like you're giving away the entire game. I'm very interested in the story, the characters, the world. I need to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 so I understand what the fuck is going on and how we got to this one, because I don't even know how we got to 2 yet. But that's for me to worry about, not for you to worry about. But as I already said, even before we started this video, I already ordered this. They also have a character from Xenoblade 2. Okay, cool. Good to know. And I know that one of the developers or the director came out and said that you don't need to have played 1 or 2 to be able to enjoy 3, but people that will have some really enjoyable moments that happen in 3. And there was another game that came out recently. What was it? We played it. Oh, it was when we were playing Yakuza Like a Dragon. And in Yakuza Like a Dragon, a character from earlier in the Yakuza series shows up. And I guess that was a super big deal. And to us, we were like, all right. We'd never played any Yakuza game before that. And I imagine similar things will be here of people from previous entries in the franchise will show up. And it'll be a big deal to people that know. And it'll just be a continuation of the story beat for the people that don't know. And so that's something to look forward to. But this looks great. I really like what I'm seeing here. As I said, I'm already waiting on my copy, especially because, and here's the reason that I ordered this, okay? Because I did not get Xenoblade Chronicles 2 when it came out. Because I was like, much like I'm sure people do with this, so I'll be like, Xenoblade Chronicles 2? I didn't get to play Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Why would I buy Xenoblade Chronicles 2? And people are like, everyone's like, it's really good. And I'm like, yeah, but I haven't played the first one. And even if somebody tells you, like, you don't need to have played the first one, part of your gamer brain is like, yeah, but maybe I want to, you know? And so I didn't. And then they're like, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, remake of the first game, available now on Nintendo Switch. And I was like, sweet. And I got it. And I got it right when it came out. And I played it. I was like, this is great. Let me go get the second one. Bitch, that came out 3 years ago and nobody bought it. And now there's no copies available. You want one? It's going to be $149. Oh, that's a lot. I don't want to give you that. And they're like, well, that's too bad. Give it to us if you want to play. You can buy the digital version. And I'm like, I don't want digital Nintendo Switch games. I want my physical copies. I ended up finding one. But yeah, so I was like, you know what? I was going to order Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I own the rest of the series. I'll just order the third one now. And then I won't be sad later if I can't find one. So yeah. Anyway, this video is now over an hour long. So we're going to get the fuck out of here. Oh my God. But at any point, any thoughts that you had during this, please leave them down in the comments below. If you want to keep the conversation elsewhere, 2 great places to do so are on Discord and Twitter. Speaking of Discord, we actually have a channel dedicated to these reactions where you can place links of your own that we can check out together live on stream, because we do stream 4 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and I would love to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you want to catch future videos, please subscribe to the channel. If you want to go check out one of those other videos on their channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy. Thank you.